Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please forgive me. I'm serving the class from the car, from my phone, so I will not be able to share my screen or start my video. Otherwise, the network may not be strong enough to support. So please bear with me. Let us begin with our auspicious invocation prayers. Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shravyanadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, entitled Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. Texts 12, 13, 14, and 15. Bhagwan Shri Kapil Dev is speaking to his mother, Shri Devahuti Devi. Adya Sthira Charanam Yo Vedagarbha Saharshibhi Yogeshware Kumaradhyai सिद्धैर्योग प्रवर्तकैः भेददृष्ट्याभिमानेन निसंगेनापि कर्मणा कर्तृत्वात् सगुणं ब्रह्म पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभम् स संसृत्य पुनः काले कालेनेश्वरमूर्तिना जाते गुण व्यतिकरे यथा पूर्वं प्रजायते ऐश्वर्यं पारमेष्ठ्यं च तेपि धर्म विनिर्मितम् निषेव्य पुनरायान्ति गुणं व्यतिकरे सति. Translations and purports by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear mother, someone may worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a special self-interest. But even demigods such as Lord Brahma, great sages such as Sanat Kumar, and great munis such as Marichi have to come back to the material world again at the time of creation. When the interaction of the three modes of material nature begins, Brahma, who is the creator of this cosmic manifestation and who is full of Vedic knowledge, and the great sages, who are the authors of the spiritual path and the yoga system, come back under the influence of the time factor. They are liberated by their non-fruitive activities and attain the first incarnation of the Purusha, Mahavishnu, or Karunadaksha Vishnu. But at the time of creation, they come back in exactly the same forms and positions they previously had. So here, Bhagwan Kapil Dev is saying that fruitive activities in this material world may lead to some enjoyment, may lead to some elevation to higher planets, but that position is not stable. What to speak of us, even the demigods who are in charge of the higher planets. The demons are in charge of the lower planets. The demigods are in charge of the higher planets. But even though the demigods are in charge of the higher planets, they also have to remain in the material world only. They cannot enter the spiritual. When Pralaya takes place, they enter into the body of Mahavishnu. All the universes enter inside Mahavishnu, along with the Jivas. And when creation takes place again, Mahavishnu, by his glance, transmits all these Jivas into the Brahmandas. And again, creation takes place. And these entities again get bodies similar to what they had before, based on their consciousness. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Brahma becomes liberated is known to everyone, but he cannot liberate his devotees. Because Mukti Pradata Sarvesham Vishnur Eva Na Samshaya. There is no doubt that it is Lord Vishnu who is the giver of liberation. Therefore, he is called Mukunda. Demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva cannot give liberation to any living entity because they are not independent. Krishna can independently give liberation. Krishna does not need permission from Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are not independent. They are dependent on the Supreme Lord, Krishna. As it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, only one who surrenders unto Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can be liberated from the clutches of Maya. What verse is this? Who can answer? Raise your hand. Yes, Janani Mataji. You can unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mame vaya prapadyante mayametam taranti.
Yes, very good. Daiviyesha gunamai mama maya duratteya mame vaya prapadyante mayametam taranti. When we surrender to Krishna, we become liberated. Krishna is the only one who can give liberation. Therefore, we have to surrender to Krishna. Adya Sthira Charanam. Lord Brahma is called here by this name. He is the original Adya, created being, but in this material manifestation. Tene Brahma Hridaya Ādi Kavaye. This Adya, Lord Brahma, Adi Kavi, he is also instructed by Krishna in transcendental knowledge. So Brahmaji is a disciple of Lord Krishna. Now Brahmaji is accompanied by great personalities such as Marichi, Kashyap Muni, the Saptarishi, 7 sages, Kumaras, 4 Kumars. They are all spiritually very advanced. But sometimes even Lord Brahma can develop Bheda Drishtya. He can develop a little Bheda Drishtya, a little separate interest from Krishna. Sometimes in the course of management of the universe, Lord Brahma may think that he is independent of the Supreme Lord. When you don't see the Supreme Lord, when you don't hear the Supreme Lord for some time, there can be little forgetfulness. And one may think, I am in charge. It can happen like that. Krishna's Maya is like that. It can make us think. And then we become illusioned. So when Brahma is not independent, that we have to understand. In the next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says the specific significance of Brahma's coming back may be noted. Brahma and the great rishis and the great master of yoga, Lord Shiva, are not ordinary living entities. They are very powerful and have all the perfections of mystic yoga. They may have all the Ashtasiddhis, but still they have an inclination to try to become one with the Supreme, and therefore they have to come back. In certain universes, the Brahma is not a pure devotee. In our universe, Chaturmukh Brahma is pure devotee. is Sampradayacharya, but some universes he may not be. He may develop a mentality that I am the supreme. And then such a Brahma has to come back in the material world. Remember, in the 9th canto, there is a purport where Srila Prabhupada quotes Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who says that when a jiva falls, first he is given a chance to become a Brahma in one of the universes. And then, so all of us have been Brahma at some point. But we could not attain pure devotional service, and therefore we have deteriorated into lower births, lower and lower. And now, fortunately, we have got a human birth. So now we should not miss the opportunity. And then Srila Prabhupada writes in the final paragraph that it is a great fall down on the part of the impersonalist to think that the Supreme Lord appears within a material body and that one should therefore not meditate on the form of the Supreme Lord. Instead, we should meditate on the impersonal, formless Brahman. What the Mayavadis say is that the form of Krishna, form of Ram, is material. It's made of Maya. The Supreme cannot have any limited form. Supreme is unlimited. And therefore, the limited form of Krishna, limited form of Lord Ramachandra, that is all creation of the external energy Maya. So they consider Krishna's body as Maya. They are called Mayavadis. And they cannot approach the Krishna, the world of Krishna. Text 16. Ye to iha sakta manasah karmasu shraddhayanvitaha kurvant aprati shiddhani Nityanapi Chakritsnashaha. Persons who are too addicted to this material world execute their prescribed duties very nicely and with great faith. They daily perform all such prescribed duties with attachment to the fruitive result. People who are too attached to the material world, they perform karma kand very carefully so that they can continue their existence here in the material world in higher and higher degrees of enjoyment. They do everything. They practice the limbs of dharma, but they do it for selfish interest. They want to be comfortable in the material world. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, in this verse and the following 6 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, the persons who are too materially attached are criticized. It is enjoined in the Vedic scriptures that those who are attached to the enjoyment of material facilities have to sacrifice and undergo certain ritualistic performances. You have to perform certain pujas to get certain material benefits. They have to observe certain rules and regulations in their daily lives to be elevated to the heavenly planets. All this is there in Karma Kand. But the aim is to remain in this material world. Those who worship demigods with the consciousness that each and every demigod is a separate god cannot be elevated to the spiritual world. They are Bhedadrik. They have a separate vision. What to speak of persons who are simply attached to duties for the fulfillment of their material condition? They also remain. Unless one worships Krishna directly and surrenders to Krishna, one cannot be liberated. Text 17. Rajasa kuntha manasaha kamatmano jitendriyaha pitranjayant anudinam grihesh abhirata shayaha. Such persons, impelled by the modes of passion, are full of anxieties and always aspire for sense gratification due to uncontrolled senses. Adanta gobhir. Their senses are uncontrolled and therefore they always want indriya tripti. They always want to satisfy their senses. Sense gratification after sense gratification. And they are very anxious for sense gratification. They are anxious that their sense gratification will go away. They worship the forefathers and are busy day and night improving the economic condition of their family, social or national life. So many industrialists we see, they are simply interested in giving charity for some material gain. And they are dedicated to improving the economic situation of their family. Some social work they will do, some nationalistic work they will do. But all that is under the domain, in the domain of materialism. Text 18. त्रैवर्गिकास्ते पुरुषा विमुखा हरिमेधसः कथायां कथनीयोरु विक्रमस्य मधुद्विषः. Such persons are called Traivargika because they are interested in the three elevating processes. These materialistic people who have material desires and they are not really interested in Krishna consciousness, they are called Traivargika. Means they are interested in three Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, and Kam. They are not interested in moksha because they are too happy in the material world. They feel the material world is a beautiful place. I enjoyed so much in my human life. How much I will enjoy if I get a demigod life, demigod body, and they want to go. So that is their fault, and therefore they are called Traivargikas. They are interested in three things, not moksha, but they are interested in the preceding three things: Dharma, Artha, and Kam. They want to practice Dharma so they can get nice Artha. Lakshmi ji will bless, and they follow nice Dharma and worship Lakshmi ji to fulfill their need for money, Artha, and their need for sense gratification, Kam. Dharma, Artha, and Kam. These three things they are interested in. They are not interested in liberation. They are called Traivargikas. They are averse to the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can give relief to the conditioned soul. They are not interested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead's pastimes, which are worth hearing because of his transcendental prowess. Uru Vikramasya, Madhudvasha. We should hear about Madhudvasha Krishna, who is Uru Vikramasya, performs extraordinary activities like lifting Govardhan, dancing with the gopis in millions of forms. These are Krishna's amazing activities. Srila Prabhupada says that Supreme Personality of Godhead, second paragraph, is described here as Hari Medha, or he who can deliver one from the cycle of birth and death. Materialistic persons are never interested in hearing about the marvelous pastimes of the Lord. They consider them fiction, mythology, but devotees are always interested in hearing about Krishna. Shrutavya, Kirtitavyascha, Smartavya. We should always do these three things: hearing about Krishna, reading about, speaking about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, and thinking of Krishna, remembering Krishna. Text 19. Nunam daivena vihata ye cha yuta katha sudham hitva shrinvan asad katha purisham iva vid bhujah. Vid means stool. Vid bhuja means one who eats stools. Stool eater, hog. And Achu is Krishna, infallible Lord. Katha Sudham, the nectar of the Krishna Katha. Krishna Katham. Such persons are condemned by the supreme order of the Lord because they are averse to the nectar of activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such materialistic people are not interested in bhakti. They are compared to stool-eating hogs. They give up hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord and indulge in hearing of the abominable activities of materialistic persons. They will not hear about Krishna, but they will hear about all materialistic topics. Hare Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, everyone is addicted to hearing of the activities of another person. Whether a politician, they read newspaper. Whether a rich man, they will read all these magazines, celebrity magazines. Or an imaginary character, they will hear all this Harry Potter and I forgot the other person, whatever. They read all this fiction and they are absorbed in these characters, but they are not interested in Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says there are so many nonsensical literature, stories and books of speculative philosophy. Prabhupada calls it all nonsensical. And then Prabhupada says they are very interested in reading such nonsense literature like news, novels, etc. But when they are presented with genuine books of knowledge like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Puran, Chaitanya Charitamrita, or Prabhupada says other scriptures of the world like Bible and Quran. So we should not disrespect Bible and Quran also. We should respect. They are all teaching some level of God consciousness. But these materialistic people, Prabhupada says they are not interested in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Sri Vishnu Puran, They are not interested in any Vedic literature, and they are not interested in Bible or Quran also. These persons are condemned by the supreme order as much as a hog is condemned. Such people who have no faith in the Shastra, they are really punished by material nature. Text 20. Dakshinena patharyam naha Dakshinena patharyamnaha pitralokam prajantite prajamanu prajayante smashananta kriya. Such materialistic persons are allowed to go to the planet called Pitrilok. Yanti Devata Vrata Devan Pitranyanti Pitrvrata. They go to the planet of the Pitralok by the southern course of the sun. But they again come back to this planet and take birth in their own families. Beginning again the same fruitive activities from birth to the end of life. In this way, my dear friends, again and again we are given an opportunity, but we don't make it. We become too busy for it and then too grown up for something spiritual. So such pious people who study under a guru, they can go to the spiritual world. But the materialist people, they go up to Pitralok. In Pitralok, there is enjoyment. You get the results of sacrifices. It's a comfortable place. You are with Aryama. But one has to come back. One cannot stay there forever. And again begin the fruitive activities from birth to the end of life. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, verse 21, it is stated that such persons are elevated to the higher planetary systems. As soon as their lifetime of fruitive activity are finished, they return again to this material world. This is we have to remember. That by pious activity, we can go to the heavenly planets, but from there we have to come back. Again and again, this point is being drilled in. Text 21, last verse for today. Tataste kshina sukritaha punarlokam imam sati patanti vivasha devaihi sadyo vibhramshitodayah. When the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they fall down by higher arrangement and again come back to this planet. Just as any person raised to a high position sometimes all of a sudden falls. And the higher you go, the harder you fall. Hare Krishna. Shukshine Punye Martalokam Vishanti. That's what happened. Once the pious activities are finished, we fall down. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says, it is sometimes found that a person elevated to a very high position in government service falls down all of a sudden. We see that sometimes presidents get impeached. So many things happen. Similarly, after finishing their period of enjoyment, foolish persons who are very much interested in being elevated to the position of president or higher planets also fall down to this planet. Prabhupada says the difference is that one who practices fruitive activities falls down. But when a devotee is elevated to the spiritual kingdom, he never falls down. That is the difference between ordinary man and Prabhupada. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, A Brahma Bhuvanal Loka Punaravartin Arjuna, that even if one is elevated to the higher planet, he has to come down again. But Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Mam Upetetu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. If we go to the planet of demigods, we have to come back. But if we go to Krishna Lok, we never have to come back. His abode is eternal. Anyone who attains my abode never comes back to this conditioned life of material existence. So, and then final verse for today, verse 22. Tasma tvam sarva bhavena bhajasva parameshtinaha tad gunashraya bhaktya bhajan iya padambujam. My dear mother, I therefore advise you take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Direct advice is given. Tasmat tvam sarva bhavena bhajasva parameshtinam. Parameshti means Supreme Person. Parameshti also refers to Lord Brahma, but that's in this universe. But here Parameshti refers to the Supreme Lord. Accept this with all devotion and love, for thus you can be situated in transcendental devotional service. You should again take shelter of Krishna, we have been told. Purport. The word Parameshtinam is sometimes used in connection with a Brahma. Nonetheless, Parameshti means Supreme Person, as Brahma is the Supreme Person within this universe. Brahma is Supreme Person in the material universe. Krishna is Supreme Person in the spiritual universe. Lord Kapil Dev advises his mother that she should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, because he is most worshipable. Bhajaniya Padambujam. Bhaktya. With devotion, we should worship the lotus feet of Krishna and take shelter of his lotus feet. Taking shelter of demigods, even those in the highest positions like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, is not advised herein. One should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Krishna. Mam ekam sharanam vraja, Krishna says. Sarva bhavena means with all loving ecstasy. Prabhupada explains the meaning of bhav, which comes just before prem. Next paragraph. Devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is the only means for attaining the highest perfection of life for the human. Prabhupada is concluding. To get full Krishna consciousness, one must worship according to the 9 processes of devotional service. Prabhupada says, the activities of a sincere devotee are always beyond the modes of material nature. They're always nirgun. And although discharge of devotional service appears to be like material activities, it is never saguna. It is never contaminated by material quality. It's always nirgun. Even though it may appear that this devotee is buying flowers, I also buy flowers for decoration. He's also buying flowers. Oh, this person is playing a musical instrument. I can also play a musical instrument. And I'm not a devotee. Like that, non-devotees can think. Therefore, just having Shastra is not enough. We need to have a guru who can teach us the Shastra properly to take us to the point of devotional service. If after reading Shastra we don't perform devotional service, what is the use? You see, before Srila Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is, there were some English versions of Bhagavad Gita, but to our knowledge, it did not create a revolution. But Srila Prabhupada's books created revolution because Srila Prabhupada is authentic Acharya, taking us to the path of bhakti. The path of bhakti is so powerful, Srila Prabhupada said that Putana came to kill Krishna by poisoning him. But Krishna only considered the fact that she tried to feed me her own breast milk. And for that, Krishna gave her liberation. Aho bakiyam stanakal kutam jigham sayapya ved asadvi lebhe gatim dhatri uchtam tatonyam kamva dayalum sharanam bhajama. Krishna killed Putana and gave her the position of a dhatri, a mother in the spiritual world. Such is the mercy of Krishna. Then what will happen? Kimuta. What will happen if we worship Krishna with devotion? That will be so nice. Srila Prabhupada concludes by saying there are 2 kinds of religious activities. One for material advancement, for calm, another for spiritual advancement, for moksha. By taking shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna, one is endowed with both kinds of prosperity, material prosperity and spiritual prosperity. Means by Krishna's mercy, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have material mercy and spiritual mercy. Material mercy will be when by taking shelter of Krishna, there will be economic development. There will be material advancement. But we should keep pushing in bhakti. And then we'll see spiritual advancement also. When material advancement comes, we should not get carried away by it. I'm throwing a party because I'm celebrating 10 years of marriage, 10th marriage anniversary. So I'm throwing a party. Just giving an example. I feel that's unnecessary waste of time. I'm sorry, I lost my chain of thought. I'm a little very tired, very sleepy. Sorry. By taking shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna, one is endowed with Both kinds of prosperity. Material prosperity and spiritual prosperity. Both will come. Srila Prabhupada, he was spending thousands and thousands of rupees every day in all the centers. Started with nothing, no money. So material wealth also came. But the real opulence of Srila Prabhupada is Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Their love, their sacrifice. All the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they represent certain potency of Srila Prabhupada. Such great devotees Srila Prabhupada had. Such transformation Srila Prabhupada created in the lives of materialistic people. That is the real spiritual wealth. Material wealth is there. Material wealth can also be used in Krishna's service. But the real thing is spiritual wealth. That we should try to earn by performing the limbs of Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaran. We should go to Krishna. We should not go to any demigod. Krishna can give us both material prosperity and spiritual prosperity. If we go to demigods for material prosperity, why do it? Better go to Krishna. That's better. Okay? So we'll stop here and we'll continue from verse number 23, Krishna willing, on Thursday, next Thursday. Next Tuesday, there will be no Bhakti Vaibhava class because His Grace Radhesham Prabhu will be here doing programs. I will go live on Zoom. If you all want, you can hear his class. And then Wednesday, there will be no Bhakti Shastri also. Same reason. Radhesham Prabhu is here. So we'll have our Bhakti Shastri class on Monday. We'll have Bhakti Vaibhava class on Thursday next week. Thank you very much, dear devotees. I'm really sorry. I did not sleep well last night and I had a very rough day in the hospital today. Too many patients. So I'm very sleepy. So sorry, but I still tried. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Shama Kishori Mataji has a question. Ask one. Yes, Shama Kishori Mataji, welcome back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Prabhuji,
Hare
for taking this class despite your busy schedule and your exhaustion. We really appreciate it. Prabhuji, we can take the question next time if you're tired.
No, let's do it now.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing your voice, my sleep has gone away. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. So, Prabhuji, from today's class, it was mentioned that the demigods, they cannot give liberation. And that's what I have heard also. But in one of your other classes, I think from last week, you had mentioned that no other demigods can give liberation, but Lord Shiva can give liberation because he is a
Yes.
different tattva. So, can you
Yes.
please, reconcile?
Yes. So there is a abode of Lord Shiva, Sadashiv, and his abode is almost like Vaikuntha. It is eternal. Therefore, it's called Sadashiv. It is not a material planet like Satyalok, Brahmalok, and it is not destroyed ever. It is eternal. So, if one is a true worshipper of Lord Shiva, one has genuine affection for Lord Shiva, and with bhav one worships Lord Shiva, then one can attend to that planet. And being with Lord Shiva there is as good as liberation. Also, another way of looking at this is Vaishnavana Metha Shambhu. Lord Shiva is a special form, a special tattva that comes from Krishna, as Brahma Samhita says. And because he is Sampradaya Acharya, because he is the greatest of all devotees, among the devotees, greatest is Lord Shiva, he can grant us liberation because he is very dear to Krishna. Just like a guru can liberate a devotee, a disciple. Gururna sasyat, swajanana sasyat. Na mochayatyo, samupeta prutyo. Just like a guru is not a guru if he cannot liberate the disciple. So that is one way of looking at it, that Lord Shiva is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So if Lord Shiva cannot liberate, so that is not, he is the greatest devotee. So Krishna is so dear to him and he is so dear to Lord Krishna that Krishna will never let Lord Shiva's Nishkapat Kripa go in vain. There is Sakapat Kripa, Nishkapat Kripa. We have discussed it. Lord Shiva's Sakapat Kripa is like his Kripa on Vrikasur. Okay, whoever head you touch, that person will die. And Nishkapat Kripa is Kripa on the Prachetas, where Lord Shiva gave them the mantra by which they immediately got darshan of Lord Vishnu and became liberated. So in that sense, Lord Shiva can give liberation. But here, Lord Srila Prabhupada is saying it from a point of view of general understanding, that one should not think that Lord Shiva is independently able to give liberation. Not independently, but because he is very dear to Krishna. Kinto Prabhorya Priya Eva Tasya. Like that. In that sense, he can give. And also, Lord Shiva is, as you said, he is a very unique tattva. There is only Lord Shiva in that category. The Shiva tattva. Very special tattva. And in that one particular original form, as Sadashiv, then Lord Shiva, being with Sadashiv, attaining Sadashiv is as good as liberation. So that is there. So in both those angles of vision, from the angle of vision of Sadashiv, whose planet is eternal, and from the point of view of Lord Shiva being the most dear devotee of Krishna, Vaishnavanamatha Shambhu, and from the example of the Prachetas, and so many people have attained pure devotion. Because of the mercy of Lord Shiva, we can see that Gurur Nasasyat principle, that Lord Shiva can give liberation like that. I hope this gives some clarity, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for clarifying. So the abode of Sadashiv, is that situated just outside Vaikuntha?
Yes,
Okay. But it is eternal.
it is eternal. That particular abode of Lord Shiva is eternal, not the Kailash within the Brahmanda. That is
Okay.
destroyed. That is destroyed. But beyond all these material creation, there is a eternal abode of Sadashiv. And that Sadashiv resides even in Golok Vrindavan as Gopeshwar Mahadev. And so that form is eternal. But then from that Sadashiv comes the 11 Rudras, who are temporary forms in the material universes for specific purpose of Rudra. There's a Rudra Tattva. So they do that, and then those Rudras are destroyed, the 11 Rudras, when the Brahmanda is destroyed. But the Sadashiv form remains eternally as it is. That
Thank you.
Sadashiv form is the origin of all the other Rudra forms.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so no more questions, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much, dear devotees. See you all on Thursday. You can join on Tuesday also for Radhesha Prabhu's class. Thank you. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam.
Yes, thank you. So unmute all. Please say Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Thank you very much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's congratulate Vani Seva Mataji. She got initiated from Srimad Vaisheshika Maharaj.
Oh,
Vatsala Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.